What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, wanted to bring you a practice report. Again, another walkthrough on a Wednesday. So not a real practice, but it was an estimation on players' participation if there was a practice. And this one's definitely very interesting. The big news is about Jonathan Taylor, which we're going to get to in a minute. But I think that there's good things about this practice report, but it also provides some bad news about this team going into this next week. But also, I think it provides a lot of clarity for why some players maybe haven't been playing so well as of recently. I'll explain what I mean in a minute. But let's go ahead and hop into this thing real quick. So, again, walk through today. We'll get more information tomorrow when Indy actually plays or participates in a real practice, right? And that'll tell us a lot more about what's going on with this team going forward. Now, so Jack Anderson did not practice with an illness. Again, a backup center for us. Kicker Matt Gay was on this and with a right hip injury and did not participate in the walkthrough. Now, I think this says a lot about why Matt Gay might have been struggling recently with his kicks. Because, again, we've seen the last 2 weeks, the dude's missed 4 kicks in the last 2 weeks. And that's a dude that doesn't miss kicks, right? And not even the really hard ones. I mean, we've seen him miss an extra point. We've seen him miss ones that are within 50 yards, things that a lot of times we see him as automatic. And he even missed one that was inside 40, so this is not the Matt Gay that we have seen for the entirety of the season up until these last 2 weeks. And it definitely shows why maybe Matt Gay was having problems. Maybe he was having a little bit of a problem in his side and nobody really knew about, or maybe he knew about it but didn't say anything right away. Or it could be very possible that it happened this week, right? But either way, it maybe does explain why Matt Gay's been struggling lately kicking the football. And it very much concerns me that Matt Gay is on this list, because if he doesn't practice, I don't know who you're going to have as your backup kicker for going forward. I don't know if Matt Gay is going to miss time, but even if he doesn't miss time, it definitely is a little bit more of a concern if Matt Gay is going to be on your practice report and he's feeling pain and he isn't able to do things the exact way he normally does. Yeah, so that definitely concerns me a little bit. I hope that tomorrow we will see Matt Gay participate in practice and be okay. That's the big thing. Running back Zach Moss on here as well with that forearm injury. Did not participate in practice today. We kind of figured, it's going to be interesting to see how Zach Moss progresses throughout the week. Shane Steichen had reported that, there's a lot of things going on with Zach and they think he's going to be okay, but I don't know if he's going to play this week. And real quick before I go way too off topic here, I will go ahead and report this that was said earlier. I think everyone was kind of talking about it. Shane Steichen was asked so many times about, what happened with McKenzie, what happened with Brown. He said he's not going to say what happened. They're keeping that in-house, and that's a decision that's made. Said that, there's a standard of, playing here. And if you don't if you don't go to that standard, you're not going to be a part of this team. And we've seen that McKenzie and Brown's lockers have been removed from the locker room. We already knew they were suspended for the year, but that is definitely interesting. Something drastic must have happened if we are not hearing anything and they're having their lockers removed. It'll definitely be interesting. I wonder when that something about that will come up. Clearly, it's not going to come out of Shane Steichen right now because they have other things to worry about rather than that. So it'll be interesting, but I just wanted to talk about that before I go off on a tangent too much. Saguna Luby, a hip injury. He did not participate in practice, so that definitely stinks for depth and whatnot, but I hope he's all right. Last did not participate was Braden Smith once again. Braden Smith, who has not played since the first quarter of the Titans game. You remember early in the year, Braden Smith missed quite a few weeks, and it has now been, 2 weeks? It's been over 2 weeks since Braden Smith has played, and he's still not practicing. Listen, I know that you don't want to use the IR strictly because the IR, if you use the IR, there's no going back from that decision. But the problem is with we just never see, Braden has these really long lapses of injury where nobody gives an explanation on how quickly he's coming back because nobody knows, right? Nobody knows when he's coming back. And I wish that we could always see that, but Braden always has a lingering injury, and we've seen it in years past, and we've seen it this year specifically. It really does stink that Braden Smith just keeps missing time. Again, I know he's not doing it on purpose, of course not, but it does stink to not have clarity on that regard. Okay, so Eric Johnson, the second limited participant with an ankle injury. I think he went down in last week's game, or it was against, I would think it was against Steelers. On the good news front of this practice report, wide receiver Michael Pittman, who was put into concussion protocol this week after a dirty hit by a Steelers defender, limited participant in practice on Wednesday. So that's a very good sign. Will he be able to play on Sunday? We're not sure. That's up in the air right now. But it is good to see that he participated in that, regardless of being in protocol. So there is still a chance that Pittman could clear protocol this week. And then the final great news that everyone wanted to talk about, and that is Jonathan Taylor. Again, I know it's a walkthrough, but he was a full participant at practice. I think it's the first time that Jonathan Taylor has participated in a practice, and he was a full participant at practice. Even Ian Rappaport reported that Shane Steichen and the feeling inside the room is that Jonathan Taylor is feeling pretty good. And there is, while it's not confirmed, there is there's a looming feeling that Jonathan Taylor will be able to play this week. And it's very much needed if you're the Indianapolis Colts. If you're going to be without Zach Moss this week and potentially be without Michael Pittman for another week, listen, I loved what Trey Sermon and Gibson did, but at the same time, Goodson did. But at the same time, I also want to have some of the best players out there that you can get. And Jonathan Taylor is a playmaking machine. He is a guy that can take over a defense when he is out there and he's healthy. So if Jonathan Taylor is good to go this week, it definitely makes the loss of Zach Moss and potentially even the loss of Michael Pittman potentially a lot easier for Shane Steichen because he has a valuable weapon that he can rely upon. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of these. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.